In MySQL, we have options to get sum, average, minimum, and maximum of multiple numeric entries. In this video, we'll be talking about those options and I'll give you some examples about each of them. Here inside our MySQL underscore tutorials database, we have a table called students that has a column called score, and this score column takes numeric entries as the score of each student. Let's take a look at the sum option and how we can use it in our select command to get the sum of all these numeric entries together. This is the structure of the sum command. We need to mention the column name inside the parenthesis after the sum keyword, and then we can name it after the as keyword and from table, and then we can use a where condition if there's any condition that we want to mention. Now let's see how we can use it on the command line. Here we're back to the command line and we want to get the sum of the score column. To do that, I can type select sum. Inside the parenthesis, I mention the column name and as total score. This is optional. You can name it whatever you want, and then from students. And let's not use any condition here. Please note that we are already inside our MySQL underscore tutorials. We are using it. So I press enter and I get a number that is actually sum of all these scores together. Also, using conditions with this command is very easy. Just type where and then the condition. Let's say that we want to get the scores only greater than 8. In this case, we can type score greater than 8, and this time we're getting a record that is the sum of the scores that only have a value more than 8. So this is how we can use sum and use conditions with it. Now let's move on to the next one, that is average. The way that we can use average is very similar to sum. The only difference is between their keywords, that in this case it's AVG, standing for average. Let's see how we can get the average score of all students that we have on our students table. Back to the students table, and this time we type select AVG and then the column name, that is score, and as AVG score. Again, this is optional. You can name it whatever you want, and then the name of the table from students. And this is the average score of all students. Again, we can use the where condition as well here. For example, where ID is greater than 3, and this time we get another average number. And this is the way that we can use average in our SQL commands. Now let's talk about minimum and maximum. The structure of the command for getting minimum or maximum of multiple numeric numbers is exactly the same as average and sum. Just in this case, instead of AVG or SUM, we need to type MAX or MIN for minimum and maximum. Let's take a look at the structure. Select, for example, min score, the name of the column, as min score from students. And this is the minimum score, and if we take a look at the scores, we see that 6.3 is the minimum score. And also we can use the max this way, MAX from the score, that is the column name, and then so this one is optional, but let's make it cleaner. And yeah, this is the maximum score that we have on our table. This is how we can use sum, average, minimum, and maximum in our select command in MySQL. These are simple yet very useful options to know about, so I suggest you to have a little bit of practice and experiment with them so you can memorize them better. Hope it was helpful and you enjoyed this lesson, and until the next one, I bid you farewell.